Hey guys, Dan here with another book review. This time I'm reviewing Delta of Venus, Erotica by Anais Nin. I hope I said her name right. I was very hesitant to do a book review of a book of erotica. And not just a book of erotica, but a book of erotica written by a woman. And yeah, I know 50 Shades of Grey is really popular with the ladies. And to be right up front with you guys, I don't think I would ever read that. And the reasons why I would not read that is because I'm not into S&M and this whole like sub-dom type of relationship. To me, that kind of stuff is not really sexy. I would when I'm looking for a partner, I'm looking for somebody exactly that, a partner, somebody who's like an equal. And so when I think of like sub-dom stuff, it's just not my thing. It's kind of like, feel like you're debasing somebody and like dehumanizing them. But that's just my opinion. Just throwing it out there. It's just my opinion. So if you disagree, you're into that stuff, by all means, indulge in what you like. But we're here to talk about Delta of Venus. This is a really old copy. Like when I entered this on Goodreads, I entered the ISBN number, and it didn't even show a page count. Because usually it would show progress when you read so many pages, but this, whoever had entered this originally, it's such an old copy, and literally a bookworm had gotten to this book. There's like a hole in the side where a bookworm had started to eat it. It's a little over, roughly around 268 pages. The author goes into a little bit of detail about how this came about. I guess there was some private collector who wanted a collection of erotic stories, and a lot of people are under the idea that she wrote all these stories, but she even says so herself, that she had collected stories from other people and kind of added them to the collection. So it is kind of, you when you read it, there are some pretty, I'll admit, there are some pretty hot stories. And of course, why is it always when it's erotica? Why does sometimes it just goes way over the top? Like stuff like, it's just not like just like sex, but sometimes it goes to extremes. And I just gotta know, why do they do that in erotica? Is it just because it's like a fantasy, and like do your average people fantasize about cheating on their lovers and doing all kinds of crazy stuff with like a bunch of people? I mean, is that why? I just don't know. So I was thinking that. Another thing is, when you mentioned extreme, there was one part when you got to like 3/4 into the book, and there was a story about a guy, I think his name was Philippe or Pierre or something like that, something French. And basically, there's a story about how they're pulling a body out of the water, and it's obviously a dead girl. She obviously drowned. And this guy has sex with it. I'm like, necrophilia even? Like, so that was one of the reasons why I was like, oh, like I had to bring that up because it's one of the last things I expected to read in a book of erotica written by a woman. And of course, it makes you wonder, is that a true story, or did somebody make that up? Because like I said, she collected a bunch of stories that were supposed to be autobiographical from other people. So yeah, kind of weird stuff like that. You do have a tendency to see a lot of the same names. I don't know if they were supposed to be same people, similar people, but she did kind of write, similar names. They're all like French people. And it obviously takes place in Europe. So, I mean, I did think it was interesting. It did take me a lot longer to read than I thought it was going to, because like I said, it was only 268 pages. Yeah, I am quite busy. And this is kind of an old copy. It is kind of yellowed. But, I kind of paced myself when reading it. I tried to read it in little bursts, you know, try to read a few pages here and there. It's mostly just short stories, like really short stories, so I would read a short story or two and then put it down for a few days and then... But I mean, I don't know, maybe some people would want to binge read something like this. And I do have to say, I really don't think that this is for everyone, and like, this is just my opinion as a guy. That was one of the reasons why I figured I would do a review of this book. Because for one, I don't know, I didn't do any research, so I don't know if there are any YouTube book reviews of Delta of Venus. And by all means, I think I'm going to read her other book, Little Birds, just for the hell of it, just to see if it's similar, if it's better. I really don't know. I'm not in a rush to read it. But usually, my experiences with erotica are always like the extreme. And I'd like to hear your guys' opinion about that, if you've ever read any erotica, what you think of that. And erotica, and is it always extreme, or is it, you know... Let me know, because like I don't read a lot of erotica. I usually don't seek it out. I just kind of, because I heard about this, I heard it was a classic. The ratings on Goodreads were really far and very different. Like some people gave it 5 stars, some 4. I don't think too many people gave it a 3-star rating. I did see one person that's on my friends list give it a 2-star rating. But in the end all, I rated it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I just thought it was okay. It was average. Maybe if it didn't have a lot of the extreme weird stuff in it, maybe I would have liked it more. But it is what it is. Yeah, there's not much more I can say about it. Like, if you guys have read it, let me know what you thought of it. Or if you plan on reading it, do you still want to read it even though you know there's like... you know, necrophilia in it? Like, how do you feel about that? I mean, it's just, that was like a 2-page scene too, which I thought was just a little too much detail, because some of the details, yeah, I'll never forget that, because it was just so weird and so bizarre. But that is my brief review of Delta of Venus by Anais Nin. If you've read it, if you like the video, like it, share it with your friends. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are about some of the things I talked about. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. I do read mostly comics, but I do read other things. Of course, you know, I don't always read this type of stuff, so I'm just letting you know that. If you're like thinking, if you just come across this book review and you're hoping I'm going to read 50 Shades of Grey, it's not going to happen. But it is what it is. So thanks for watching. Until next time, later guys.